This is the third part of this suit tutorial episodes, and in this episode we are going to be focusing on the facing. If you haven't watched the first and second part, please do well to check the video and you'll learn a lot from there. Okay, now first of all, I've already folded my lining. You can see where I place my facing. I've cut out my facing, placed my lining on top it. I folded my lining twice. I folded my lining in two. I folded my lining in two. Then I place it about half inch on top of the facing. So now, make sure I will still adjust this lining. Make sure the lining is wide enough for the whole body. You can see I'm checking if it's enough. If it isn't, you have to increase the width of the lining. Okay, I'm done cross checking, so now I will increase it. So after doing this, I'm going to process it with my iron. Okay, so I'm done ironing it. Now I will place the main body on top of this stuff that I folded again. Now I'm sure that it's enough to carry all the body parts. What I will just do then is to arrange this body properly. You can see how I've arranged it, then cut it out. Now mind you, you're going to leave some certain allowance at the top. You won't cut it exactly. You don't want the lining to be shorter than the main body. Okay, so you will give space when you are cutting it. And take note, look at how I cut the side part. I leave an allowance. I didn't cut it exactly as the body shape of the front part. You can see how I do it. So just cut yours exactly like this. Now for your lining, the facing, it's not much. It have to be straight. You can be creative at it, do a design or something. Okay, so I just keep this straight and simple, and I actually like this way I'm doing it because I just feel it's we just have to keep it natural and simple. Okay, so I'm done cutting the lining and the facing lining. Now I will iron my pocket. Okay, so now I will join this lining to the facing. I will join the lining to the facing. You can see how I place it. And if you watch the first episode, all my sewing for the front starts from the down. Okay, you make sure that you start the stitches from down. Don't start it at the armhole parts or the shoulder parts. You start it from down. That is how I did in part 1 and part 2. If you haven't checked that video, you should go back and check the video out, and there's a lot to learn from there. Do well to watch that video and you will learn a lot from it. This is the part 3 and we have come this far. So I will do the same at this, starting from the down. Okay, you place your facing on top of your lining, then start the stitches from the down of the facing. So I'm done stitching the facing. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to iron this facing. First of all, you are going to press the part of the place you stitch, apply water, then you give it a good press. And when you're ironing your lining, make sure the heat of your iron is not too high, so it will not burn the lining or give it a or make it rough. So I will iron the front and press it good. Now after doing this, I'm going to measure the inner pocket where I want it to stop, and I want mine to stop around 14 inches. So I will mark my 14 inches. You can see how I'm marking it inside first, because I want to place stay on this part inside of the lining. I want to place stay. So why I'm doing this is to make sure that, because the pockets I'm about to put there, it needs to, how will I put the word, stand firm, or how will I say it, it has to be, you know, it has to look nice. So I will apply stay to support the pocket structure. So now after applying that stay, I'm going to measure the length again. The length 14 inches. I'm going to measure it again. The length 14 inches, starting from the top, measure 14 inches downward and mark it. So and now for the width of the pockets, I come around 1 inch, then I measure the width of my pocket. You know the width of pockets you want to use, but let it not be more than 5 inches. It should be around 4.5 to 5 inches. So now I've measured my pocket, and the next now I'll be doing is to iron all the materials I'll be using to make this pocket. So I've cut out a square shaped fabric, and I'm also going to cut my gum stay. I'm using a gum stay for this. So now I will cut the gum stay and place it on this piece of fabric I've cut out. So now give it a good press. Make sure that the gum stay has stick well to the fabric. Make sure you take your time doing this. Give the gum stay a good press. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please, now is the right time to do. Hit the subscribe button, like, share this video, and comment. So I will just cut out the SXs. Now after cutting out the SXs, I will fold it as so. You can see how I folded it. I'll fold it as so. Give it a good press. Now I'm going to tear this folded piece of fabric. Now I will still fold it again. Remember, as I did in the previous video for the side pockets, it's the same way I'm doing the same pocket. So you have to check that video out. Have to start from the beginning, know how it's going. Okay, so I'll fold this around 1/2 inch. I do this exact same thing when making the side pocket. So I folded it around 1/2 inch. I'll do the same. I'm making 2 pockets for both left and right inner pockets. So I'm making 4 of this stuff I'm doing now. So I've done 2 already, so remain 2. Now I will do the same. Fold this part, press it, give it a good press, and cut it out, separate it. Okay, so now fold it the way I did the last one. Just follow the same process. You can see how I folded it, and that's it. It's a double bone pocket, so 2 for each side of the pocket, left and right. 2 for one pocket and 2 for the other. Now the remaining thing to cut is my pocketing. I'm using the lining, pocketing or pocket back, whatever I call it. All is a piece of fabric used to create like a pocket bag inside of the pocket I'm about to create. You can say I cut two pieces. Now what I'm about to do here is if you have looked in the suit, there's a triangular shaped stuff that's inside for the button part. So I will show you guys how to make that. So it's a pocket cover. The pocket cover is triangular shape. First of all, you are going to fold it like this. Now after doing this, look at how I'm folding it. Look at how I'm folding it. You can see the way I folded it. It's very simple. So just do yours exactly like this, and that's it for the pocket cover. Now I will do this again for the second pocket. Fold it into two, then bend this part, press it real good, then bend the other part and press it real good. Okay, so now I will cut out the excess. So now let's go to our machine and stitch this pocket that I've just ironed. Now you are going to spread your facing like this, then start the stitch. Remember I folded half inch, so I'm going to say around 1/4 of an inch out. That is half of an inch, 0.25, 1/4 of an inch, or 1/4, whatever you call it, is still half inch. So you are going to sew a 1/4 of an inch, then do the same. Now why are you seeing 1/4 of an inch on both sides? Because when you sum it up, a 1/4 and a 1/4, it gives you half inch. So now the wideness, the height of the bucket is half inch, okay, total, because of 1/4 of an inch at both sides, giving it half inch. So the remaining 1/4 of the folded parts will form the bone of the pocket. You understand? Will form the double bone pocket. 1/4 equals to half of an inch. If you're familiar with back pockets, on how to make back pockets, you understand this process is the same as making a double bone back pocket. It's the same as making a side pocket, and also making this kind of pocket also. So now what I would do next is I would tear this part, cut it out like this, tear it to a point almost reaching the end, and then create a tongue like stuff by notching the two edges. I will do the same at the other part. Cut, stop at the point here, then create a tongue like stuff. I actually don't know, maybe there's a name for this stuff, but I just call it a tongue or something. Yeah, if you know the name, please comment so at me too I will know the name, so I won't call it a tongue like stuff or something. Yeah, it does give me the name. If you really know it, I will appreciate that. So now I will just stitch the tongue like stuff. I'll stitch it, and okay, so now you're just going to stitch. Make sure you don't stitch to the fabric. You make sure that you stitch only the tongue part, the tongue like stuff, and I'll do the same at the other part. Stitch it real good. Go about front and back 2 times or single time. So now you can see what I'm saying. This is the pocket. So now I'm just going to lock the inside, lock this place, and do the same at the other part. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share this video, watch the other part. It might not be the best explained, but if you're watching the video, you'll be able to understand. I'm trying my best to give this the best explanation that I can. Okay, so now after sewing the other part, I will cut out my thread. Make sure you cut your thread whenever you are sewing. I will cut out my thread, and that's it. Now is to create my pocket bag and apply a triangular shaped pocket cover. Now you place this lining to the pocket you have created, the hole you have created, and stitch it like this. Now cut all your threads out and you fold this. First you stitch this point, and you do the same at the other part, stitching this point and trim out the excesses. You should always trim excesses because you want the you want the suit to lie as flat as possible. Now I will just place this inside. You can see I'm placing it. So now when doing this, you make sure you arrange this very well. Arrange it, and when you're done arranging, you just pin it down with your hand. Hold it very tight. Make sure it doesn't shake, because if it shake, the pocket cover will not be straight. So now I will just stitch it at the top and cut out any excesses I'm seeing inside. So that's it for this pocket. Now I will give this a very good press, and next step is to stitch my facing to the main body. You can see that canvas I applied. That is why you need to go and check other video. I'll leave the link of part 2 and probably link of part 1 in the description box. Do well to check those videos and be blessed as you watch it. You can see how far I've gotten, and I will show you guys. Now at this point, I want here will not be that pointy. You have to curve it a little bit. If it's too pointy at this point, it will not give you the right shape you desire. If you watch the beginning of the video, you can see the finished suit, how it looks. So this is how I got it, even though I still adjusted this because it was still pointy after I turned it. So I will show you guys how I later corrected Don't mind my English, so I'm just explaining this the best way I can. Yeah, so follow the Bible you marked. This was still pointy after I sew this part I'm sewing now. I still made correction for this, so I'll show you guys after I just stitch this part, the correction I made. You can see it was still pointy, so I made a correction for this part. And for suit making, there's always space for alteration. If the fitting is not right, don't make the suit finish until you know that the fitting is not right. If you have a mannequin, when you have joined the side, you check the fitting. If it's okay, you continue. If it's not, you make alteration for that jacket. Don't just give your client a jacket that does not fit properly. Now I'm sewing this around 0.3. 0.3 of an inch, 0.3 of an inch. I'm showing this around 0.3 of an inch, and look at the way I turned it, and look at the way I'm balancing my hand on top of the jacket. Just follow this, and getting to this point, I will stop at a point almost nearing the side panel part, you can see, and I will cut this out. So now I want to leave around one quarter of an inch at this place. So the purpose of this is to make sure that the lapel edge stays flat, because when there's excess fabric at this point, it will make this place that I'm cutting look bulky when we have turned it and press it. So I will trim this, and make sure you do not trim it a lot, because if you trim it in too much, you might cut out the place here too, and that has reduced the measurement of the cloth. So I will just continue trimming it, not less than 1/4 of an inch remaining. Now I will just notch this point. Be careful at this, you don't want to notch it into the main part of the jacket. Now I will notch this point, cut out a thread, and I will notch this point. So now let's go press this, and first of all, you press the side you have sewn. You give it a very good press before turning it. Give this a good press before turning it. Give this a good press before turning it. Why? Because you want the thread to not look gathered. So now I will show you guys the correction I made. I haven't corrected it at this point, so I will show you guys why I made the correction. So now I'm about turning this place, the pointy part, the peak part of the lapel. This is a peak lapel jacket. There's peak lapel, there's notch lapel, and there's a short collar jacket. So this is a peak lapel, and now you can see how pointy it is, and I did not like the result. So look at what I did. I didn't show the sewing part, but I will explain it. You can see it was too pointy. I was like trying to adjust it, but I don't like the way it looked pointy, so I went ahead and corrected it. Now you can see it's even more curvy than the other part, the first time I do it. I curved it more, because the way I curved it the first part at the peak lapel, it was too sharp, it was too pointy, so I curved it again. I just went and stitched. You can see now the result is much better than the last. So I'll show you guys in the other parts, in the other this. You can see how I curved it. You can see I've curved it. It was not as pointy as I did. So you do yours like this, and you can see the results. It looks perfect. It's not too pointy, not too edgy, and it's very good and very okay. So now the next thing I will be doing is to base the lapel. Okay, so this is simple, single thread. You're just going to adjust the edge, then baste it to until getting to the hem of this jacket. So I'm not supposed to add this part in this video, but I said I will show you guys the whole process of the basting so you understand what I mean by this. So you are just going to use your needle and thread and arrange the lapel with your hand. You can see how I'm arranging it. First of all, for the main lapel part, I did not let the front part come out. I make the lapel, the inner part, come out. You can see how I made it. I don't know if you understand. I make sure that the lapel part is okay. I don't know the English to use, but you can see I'm arranging it. So just follow this process. You can see I'm arranging it. First of all, you make sure that the lapel is looking good, then before you baste it, because this basting determine how your finished jacket will be. Okay, this is very important. So I'll do this all through, get into the hem part of the jacket. So just watch this process. I really want to put this part because this is very important. All this information is important. You know, there's no place in suit that is not important. Even to the last stitch, even to the fixing of the button is very important. You should make sure that every part. Now you can see how I turn it back into the lining part, because now I'm getting to the hem part and I want it to look perfect at the down part. So I have turned it, no more, it's not facing the front anymore. Now it's facing from the inside. You can see how I'm arranging the body, then basting it. So just follow this process. Yes, suiting takes time to make, but when you the patience it requires, and make sure you're dedicated to the making of this jacket, you have the best result. So now I'm gonna keep on basting till I get to the part I'm going to stop. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share this video. This is a very important information that I'm sharing in this video, and this is the part 3. Like I said in the beginning, this is the part 3. It's a series, and I have started it from the sewing of the darts. I started from the first sewing part, so which is that. So that was part 1, and in part 2 I explained the breast pockets, the darts, and the sewing of the side panel to the front panel. In part 2 I explained the side pockets at the waist part, the side pockets. Okay, and in part 3 I'm explaining the facing. So now I'm done basting it. Now we'll give this a very good press. Now you can see how I'm ironing it. First off, I'm ironing from the inside. And apply water, press it very good, give it a good press. Take your time in this. You want the lapel to lie flat as possible. Okay, you want it to lie flat as possible, so just do it as you have seen it. Press the down. You can see I'm focusing on the edge part first. I make sure that this part is flat. Now next is the lapel. You focus on the edge part, the lapel, give that part, then that, when I mean the edge part, is the part you just basted. Give it a good press it over and over again until it's flat as possible. You know, in making of a suit, good ironing is important, and use a heavy iron. Use a heavy iron for this part. Okay, use a heavy iron, but if you don't have a heavy iron, you have a normal lightweight iron, you have to press it much longer. but a heavy iron makes the job more easier and quicker and faster. So now you can see the lapel, you can see the way it's shaped, you can see how clean, like you saw in the beginning of the video. This is how I made the lapel. This is how I made the lapel, and that's how to make your lapel. Is simple, is clean, is not rough, good looking lapel. Lapel with C's, lapel with R. So now I'm ironing this part, this down part. You can see, if you haven't checked my video on how to cut this jacket, I have the video in this channel. Please do well to check it and watch that video. I think you'll be blessed after watching that. Now you can see I folded this part. I fold it at the ending part of this lining. You can see how I folded it up. You can see the way I folded it. Just do yours this way, and after doing this, you raise it up like this and tear the lining to be according to this part you have folded. You can see how I'm tearing it from the inside. You can see how I'm tearing it. So just tear yours. I'll be cut out yours. I said tear. Cut out yours like this, and we are going to press this again if possible. Now you can see how I'm arranging it. You make sure you arrange yours like this before you trim out any lining. Make sure that you have arranged it, because you don't want the lining to be smaller or the lining bigger. You just want it to be perfect. So just take your time and do it. You can see that place that I just notch. That is important, because when we are fixing our sleeve, we are going to follow that notch. So now I'm done with this episode. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you at the next episode. Goodbye.